Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix the pesky parking brake on these Jeep JKs and adjust it so it'll actually hold the vehicle. Let's get started. Alright, I wanted to start this video off with a comparison. So my driveway is probably a 12 to 15 degree slope. I know it's hard to tell from the video. My e-brake is all the way up. I'm currently in gear. I'm in reverse right now. If I take this out of gear, you can see how it just does not hold whatsoever on my driveway. So let's fix that. Alright, so I've got you positioned under the Jeep so you can see what's going on. So first thing we've done is we've backed the Jeep into the garage or wherever you're going to work on it. I've blocked the front wheels, parking brake is off, and transmission is in neutral. So I'm going to lift by the differential here, and then we're going to put a jack stand on either side to support this and get the wheels off the ground so we can start adjusting this. Alright, so we're as close to the end of the axle tubes as we can get, and we'll just slowly lower the vehicle down on the jack stands. Alright, at this point both wheels are off the ground. I'm just going to leave a little bit of pressure on the jack so we have 3 points of contact instead of 2. We'll shake the vehicle, make sure it doesn't move, and then we'll move on to pulling the wheels off. Alright, so now that we've got the vehicle lifted and supported, we're going to take the lug nuts off so we can take our wheel off. Now once you get to this point, you don't actually have to pull all this off. We should be able to just adjust the star wheel from the back, tighten it up, and go from there. But I'm going to take all this off just so you guys can see what's actually going on under here and what's happening when we adjust this. So let's get to taking this stuff off. I'm going to take the wheel off first. You can do this with common hand tools, a breaker bar. I have an impact, so I'm going to use it. Alright, we're going to remove the tire, and when you take your wheel and tire off, throw it up under your rig just like that. So if something does happen to one of your jack stands, it fails, vehicle gets pushed off to one side, whatever be the case, your tire will catch it. And it's better to sacrifice a wheel or a tire than to have a substantial amount of damage from when this falls. Okay, so next we're going to take this caliper off. We'll hang the caliper up. Now I'll pull this drum off and show you exactly what we're adjusting. So let's do that now. Alright, so these caliper slide pin bolts back here, 13 millimeter. Also have these brake hanger clamps. You can find somewhere to hang them, and it'll support your brake caliper rather than hanging by the hose. I'll link these down in the description if you're interested in them. I think a 2-pack of these on Amazon was like 8 or 10 bucks. Super cheap, convenient. Like I said, just find somewhere to hang. I'm actually going to go right there. Find somewhere to hang your brake caliper. That'll save it from being hung by the hose. And we'll just remove these two 13 millimeter bolts. Okay, so what's happening is there's a nut on the other side. Let me get you in here and show you. If there's a nut that's holding me up, I got to grab a wrench to hold that nut. Alright, so as I'm going to show you here, this is the nut we're removing, or the bolt rather, with our ratchet. There's a nut right here, hopefully you can see that, on the inside of the caliper, and it's spinning around on me and it's not letting me remove the bolt. So just get a 15 mil on the nut that's on the inside and should be able to remove that bolt. Alright, we'll try this again while holding this nut. Alright, bottom one's out. We'll move on to the top one. Alright, our brake caliper will slide right off. And we will hook it to our holder here. There. Alright, so now that that's off, we got to take this bracket that holds it off, and then we'll be able to pull the rotor off, and I'll be able to show you guys what exactly we're going to be adjusting. So this is a good time to inspect brake pads if you actually tear it down this far in order to make this adjustment. Again, you don't have to. I'm just taking it apart to show you guys what we're actually adjusting. But it's a good time to just inspect everything. Alright, let me show you what we're going to remove next. So if you come in behind the caliper, you can see this bolt up top that holds this bracket on. There's another one right there. Those are 18 millimeter. That's what we're going to be removing next. That'll allow us to pull this bracket off, and then we can get in behind this rotor. Alright, now that those have been broke loose, we can just spin them out by hand. Okay, so now that we got the rotor off, these are your parking brake shoes, here and here. There's a star wheel adjuster. Hopefully you can see it there. Let me move you off the tripod and get you in a little closer so hopefully you can get a good look at it. Okay, so these are our parking brake shoes. You have your top shoe, your bottom shoe. If you look right back in here, hopefully the camera will focus. You see this wheel that has the cogs in it? That's called a star wheel. And so that's what's going to adjust the tension on your brake shoes. So as we turn that out, it's going to force your parking brake shoes out against that drum. Which by drum I mean this inside surface of your rotor. And that's what's going to engage your parking brakes. When you pull the lever inside, it's gonna pull on a cable that's gonna expand these out even more and put them against the inside of this drum, and that's what's gonna hold you parked. So on the back of this, let me get you back off the tripod and show you the back side. Come around to the back, and right where we took that bracket off, there's a rubber plug right here where my finger is. Hopefully you can see that. And you take that rubber plug off, and it'll adjust this star wheel by using a flat blade screwdriver and moving that wheel to tighten it up and expand these. So you're going to use a screwdriver, go into that plug and turn this star wheel, and it's going to expand these shoes against your rotor, and that's what's going to give you a better parking brake. So as these pads wear down over time, you'll have to expand that so they actually make contact with the inside of this rotor, and then eventually you're going to need to replace them. But what I was saying earlier is you can do this whole process without actually removing this wheel and getting this far down. I just wanted you to see all of the parts and how it's gonna be adjusted. So how we're gonna know if we got a good adjustment or not, we're gonna put our brake drum back on there and we're gonna spin it. And we want a little bit of resistance from those parking brake shoes, and we're not really getting that right now. This is spinning pretty freely. So since we have access to it from this side, I'm gonna just go ahead and move this star wheel and expand these shoes out a little bit. And then once we have a little bit of resistance, we'll put it all back together. Alright, we have a little bit of resistance now. We may go just a little bit more. So the correct way now, this is on our driver's side. If you're coming in from that rubber plug, you grab a wheel and you're gonna turn it towards the back. Does that make sense? Grab a wheel and push it towards the back. Alright, you can hear just a slight drag. I'm going to adjust it just a little bit more. Okay, now we can hear that resistance. It's pretty even all the way around, which means those parking brake shoes are slightly making contact, which is good. That's exactly what we want. So now this side is adjusted. We'll put everything back together and then we'll go adjust the other side. Now I'll go ahead and I'll let the camera roll. You guys can watch me put this back together. It's just the reverse of taking it apart. Alright, so we got our assembly here. I went ahead and threw the brake pads back in the caliper bracket. Hopefully you guys get a better angle of what's actually going on from the back side here. Now we're going to thread our caliper bracket bolts back in, and then we will torque these down to 80 foot-pounds. Alright, torque wrench set to 80 foot-pounds. Let's torque these down. Alright, now we'll move on to putting the caliper back on. I'm just going to push these brake pads against our rotor. We'll just slide our caliper back on. Start our bolts. And then when we go to tighten this down, just like removing it, we're going to have to hold the inside nut with a wrench. And we'll torque these down to 25 foot-pounds. Hold it with a wrench. We're just going to use our ratchet at first to snug these up. And now we'll torque these to 25 foot-pounds. Alright, now we're just going to put the wheel back on. We're going to do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll test out our parking brake and see if we've got it dialed in how we want now. A little trick to putting these on: you sit down, put your feet on either side. You can use your legs to lift the wheel up. That way you don't have to work as hard to get your wheel back on. Alright, now I'm going to put all these on loose for now. And like I said, when we set the Jeep all the way down on the ground, we'll torque these up. This is after the fix. We're setting in the driveway again. Parking brake is up. Shifter is in neutral. Vehicle is running. And it is staying in one spot now. Not even moving or trying to move. So parking brake's doing its job. This fix was a success. Thanks for watching. Well, there you have it, guys. Super easy fix. This will take you about 15-20 minutes to do with simple hand tools. So if you're like me and you get tired of your parking brake, it frustrates you, can't even hold your vehicle in neutral on your driveway, then maybe you need to look at doing this. Maybe you need to adjust your parking brake. You may even need to replace the parking brake shoes. I didn't have to replace mine, so we didn't do that in this video. If I need to replace mine further down the road, I'll make another video showing you guys how to do that. But you can get out there, adjust your parking brake, and have it functioning like it should. So if you like this content, please consider subscribing. I'm going to be coming out with some more videos. Let me know down in the comments if this helped you adjust the parking brake on your JK, or let me know in the comments if there's some other sort of video you would like to see me do on the Jeep here. So anyways, again, please subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.